Hello, everyone. We just got done watching episode 2 of the Detroit Lions Hard Knocks. Trevor Land is in the middle, Luke Reimer on the right. I am Zach Bruner, and my heart is beating out of my chest. I went from the Better Call Saul series finale to watching
Pretty
UFC to watching Hard Knocks with Dan Campbell in the beginning. So I've been on a roller coaster all day. I'm in a glass box of emotions over here.
It sounds like you need a cigarette or something.
I do. I need something. I need a vice. Any recommendations in the chat? Let me know. What should I explore this evening? I'm open to anything at this point.
I think at this point you just calm down and just watch Family Guy all night.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know what I need to do. But let's start with this, with Hard Knocks. Let's just give overall, what's your vibe of episode 2? What was your feelings, overarching feelings of it compared to episode 1, compared to anything else? What were you feeling, Trevor, about episode 2 of Hard Knocks?
I kind of liked how they set this up. To be completely transparent, this is the first season of Hard Knocks I've really watched all the way through. But I liked the first one. It felt like, get the feeling of the team, get to know some of the players, get to know the vibe. And then this one was a lot more into the actual X's and O's, which I liked. Gave you the interpersonal communications with the coaches there as well, looking deep into that running back room, the linebacker room. So overall, I kind of like the vibe. I hope it obviously continues to grow on that. And just starting to get a little more to football as well. Week 1 is great, but obviously you can't do that for however many straight weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. My one knock against it, as I told you guys, that was far too much EQ for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If we're talking football, I mean, I would love to see much more football rather than, Amon-Ra St. Brown's dad's story, stuff like that. I understand why they have it in there, but I mean, it's hard to throw a knock on a Dan Campbell show.
Yeah, right. Like the biggest knock I have, and it's not fair, but the biggest knock I have is could have used more Dan Campbell.
Always.
to be completely honest. But I'm comparing it to week 1, obviously. But yeah, too much EQ. I love Mr. Universe. He's you can put him on camera, mic him up the entire time. I like him. I don't need to see any more of Aiden Hutchinson's family. I'm done with it. Even as much as Zach Wilson would love to tune in of a 24-hour stream, I don't need it. And to be completely honest, why are we talking about David Blau's wife? I don't care. No offense, great athlete. Her husband's not, but she is. I just don't need it. And then we only did it because he fucked over the Lions, so we could end the episode with that. That's the only reason why we're talking about her. So we're wasting time talking about her just so we can show how big of a loser he is, that he can't catch the fucking snap. He loses the game. I don't need it. I don't need that in my life.
To go off of that,
you brought up the family.
What about the family?
I'm glad you brought them up because I was watching the one quote was like, it's so much different from Michigan games because it's in a dome and
we're losing
because it's indoor. I'm like, you're either the stupidest fucking person alive or this is so fake. Probably both. And they're all like gasping at every play. I'm like, this is a preseason game. What are we doing here? Shut your damn mouth. We don't need to watch you.
Yeah, I mean, they know the camera's on them. They're mic'd up. They know they got all perfect for the camera. This is our chance. If we nail it, we can get our own spin-off TV show that at least airs on, what is it? Bally North? It's not FS North anymore. Whatever that section of local sports is, I don't even know. It sucks. I don't need it. But yeah, I don't need them. I don't need that. It reminds me of watching football games, high school football games in the bleachers, of the stupid families that know nothing about what's going on. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. I can't take that. I don't want to listen to that anymore. It's
totally agree.
It's the worst.
I want to add on to David Blau. Him being on the team, just it's not great. because we're not seeing as much Tim Boyle as I think the world needs to see.
Dude, he would be so much better in front of the camera.
Right.
Obviously, we're all Packer fans, so we know Tim Boyle a little bit more. Absolutely. Let Tim Boyle call Aaron Rodgers. Do something like that.
Right.
Anything. Have someone call him TB12. I think that would be fun. Like, have him like do a Shark Tank bit where he's pitching a TB12 line and let Dan Campbell fall for a hook, line, and sinker. That's way more entertaining than a somewhat feel-good story with David Blau, only for him to fumble it away at the end of the episode. Like, he's starting to win me over, and then, oh, wait, no, it's David Blau. And that was the end of it. Same old Lions. And it sort of started and ended on the same note. And I think, Trevor, you'll understand this note. I got very much Ted Lasso vibes with, like, I felt like they were about to say, it's the hope that kills us, like they did overseas with Ted Lasso there. That's like the whole feeling around Detroit. And then they started to do something good, and then they literally fumble their chances away. It, again, is like, oh, maybe the Lions are going to suck this year. And it kind of broke my heart. I don't want to believe it. I don't know. Did you get that feeling?
The one thing that was also unsettling, Jared Goff being a decent leader? Question mark.
Always.
What was that? I feel like that's not at all who he is.
Jared Goff's a bro.
I don't think he's an asshole. I just think he does. I just don't think he notices that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think he usually knows. I feel like somebody went up to him and told him, "Hey, you should probably talk to this quarterback," and he was like, that is a good idea. But yeah, it is the hope that kills you. It is the hope that continuously kills Packer fans and Lions fans year after year. Just, different types of hope.
Good point. That was the worst. But let's bring it around to something that was the best, and that is calling Malcolm Rodriguez just another stereotypical Hispanic name as his nickname. Rodriguez is Rodrigo. Attaboy, Aaron Glenn. You're the fucking best at coming up with nicknames. That was... I love, like, the line towards the end. Like, the teammates didn't even know that wasn't his last name. Why would they? It's so close to his last name.
It is literally his last name minus 2 letters.
Yeah. I love it. It's a very... He's gonna build it into a brand, which makes me a little bit angry, but I hope it does well. Like, I hope he gets a Barstool podcast and it's called Rodrigo and something. It's something good. I'm for it.
I just want to circle back to Blau real quick, because I wanted to run this idea by you guys. How many times do you think Dan Campbell has tried to race his wife?
Every morning.
Right.
Down the driveway, yeah, for sure.
Dan Campbell right now wakes up every morning and trains to beat her.
Yeah. And he beats her every morning. She does not care. And he is so proud of himself every morning. Big chawing on both sides, like running up the stairs, like pushing her down. For sure. 100%.
He also said he'd say hello to her, and they didn't show that. I know he had 2 jokes in the chamber, and they didn't let us see that.
Mm-hmm, for sure. They filmed it, but it's like, okay, we can't show that. Other things I wrote down. Duce Staley. He's the fucking best. I love Duce Staley. I think people forget how good of a player he was. Yes. And he is if you took his exact energy as a player and made it into a coach, that's what he is now. He plays no fucking games. He is a complete dick. And he's the most competitive person. He's more competitive than Dan Campbell. And I think that says something. And he's perfect for that team. I will say, I've seen it a lot. That type of coaching is either going to make or break DeAndre Swift. And I'm not sure which one it is. And I'm excited to see. I hope we see it on Hard Knocks.
100%. It'd be great. That's kind of what I wanted to touch on. That kind of coaching relationship. Like, I think it's through the first 2 episodes, I think it's become clear that, of course, I mean, all players respect coaches, but these coaches, they demand respect, and you can tell the players give it to them right away, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, these coaches especially, they're all former players.
Right.
They all are given a different level of respect just inherently, just because they know how the players know that they've gone through the same exact shit, but they also know how to talk to players, and they can say shit to players that, like Matt LaFleur, for example, like he played some football, but he didn't really play football at this level. Like if he says something and Dan Campbell says something, or he says something and Duce Staley says something, some players are going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about, LaFleur? Like, you didn't do it on this level. You don't know. But like these guys, they can give these players shit. And if the players, clap back at all, it's, what have you done? You have been on the Lions your entire career. You've won nothing. I have a track record. They can point to all of that.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift's demeanor also kind of took me aback. I don't think like he's like some problem with the team or anything. Like
No.
I feel like some people are going to try to run with that. I don't think that's a thing. I just feel like he's much more put your head down, do the work, stay quiet about it kind of guy. Which, to your point, it's going to be interesting to see how that works with Duce Staley. I don't think he's going to hate Duce Staley, but to your point, I don't know. I don't think that's the way to get the best out of them, and I don't think that's either of their faults. But it will be interesting to see how that goes on during the season. And I kind of wish that we had them during the season as well, the Lions, because that would be a very interesting storyline to follow, especially if he were to get hurt again in the season as he has the past couple of years.
The Cardinals in the season is going to fucking suck.
Well, especially the clip that they show to advertise it, Cliff Kingsbury trying to come up with a single thought in a blank room. Like, I don't need to watch that. I'm not going to watch it. I don't think I'll even hate watch it. I don't think I could do it. But Duce Staley very clearly is coaching the way he needed to be coached. And I think it's clear DeAndre Swift is a different type of person. But to his point, like I think Duce Staley said all the right stuff behind closed doors, right? Like Swift has all the talent to be the top running back in the league. I don't think that's even up for debate. Like he is up there in that upper tier. He just doesn't have that. The only way to describe it is that dog mentality. Like no one is going to fucking stop me. And especially with running backs, like the best running backs I've ever been around, they go to the coach and say, put me in the fucking game. Give me the fucking ball. I'll get us a touchdown. I'll get us a first down. And if DeAndre Swift is happy splitting snaps with Jamal Williams, and Jamal Williams is just happy to be wherever he is, that doesn't fit Dan Campbell. That doesn't fit Duce Staley. That doesn't fit the offense they're trying to run. So that's a little concerning, I would say. Like, I'm not sure. They need, who they need? They need Frank Gore. Like, not now Frank Gore, but like Frank Gore 25, 30 years ago when he was in his prime. Like, he's the type of running back that Dan Campbell would fucking love, I would say.
Imagine Dan Campbell with fucking Derrick Henry giving him 37 carries a game.
Dude, he would love it. Even Adrian Peterson right now, I feel like it would work. Adrian Peterson always wants the ball. I can guarantee you that. Other running back, coach, Aaron Glenn. I love Aaron Glenn too. The word I wrote down is that he's just smooth. Like everything
he
about him
knows what he's doing.
He's always fully in control. He's always planned out like 3 steps ahead. He's the perfect complement to Duce Staley. Duce Staley can run his fucking head through a wall, and Aaron Glenn is going to build up the next wall for him to run through. Like that's the type of relationship there is.
Aaron Glenn's got a little Snoop Dogg in him in terms of smooth.
Yeah. Yes.
The other thing I liked was this little quote about the drawing the line in the sand. Because that's the one thing that you're always kind of worried about with these kind of coaches is they're not going to be like, oh, juice boxes and oranges, it's okay that we lost. But you still have to have that guy that really sets the foot down and says, yeah, we need to also like win too. So it was really nice to see that. And the way he did it, to your point, was so smooth. It just rolled right out there, just so effortless. Just, you can tell they need to win this year. They can't have another last year.
And to his point, at this level, like everyone's talented, everyone's good. The teams who expect to win usually do. Like that's just the scenario. If you have any doubt in your mind, And at least a lot of the things I've said before, like if you have a plan B, then fuck your plan A. You're not all in on your plan A. Like you need to walk in thinking you're going to win. And, the Lions have nothing to fall back on. Like, yeah, we could beat the Packers this year. Like they look at all the past film of Aaron Rodgers torching them. And they probably think, especially the deep backs, like, what the fuck are we going to do? But somehow you have to put that out of your mind. I don't know how you would do it, but you got to. And hopefully they do. At least on November 6th, when the boys are coming to town. That's right, Detroit. Get ready. But yeah. Other shit. Barry Sanders.
Awesome.
His laugh took me aback. I did not expect that kind of laugh from him. It was more like a child giggle, and I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Barry Sanders is anywhere in Detroit that has Detroit football, he owns that place. Everyone stops and looks at him.
He could do anything in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
He can do anything anywhere. Is there a single person who dislikes Barry Sanders?
Mm-mm.
Like, he is also just super smooth and cool. Mm-hmm. His highlights are fucking.
Mm-hmm.
They're the greatest thing. I'll always stop to watch his highlights. That any NFC North 90s highlights, like him, Brett Favre, you got some Randy Moss in there a little bit, like that shit. That's fun stuff. Like, I don't know. Barry's ridiculous. It's not fair. Only other thing I wrote down was Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's the guy. Like, I want his mentality on DeAndre Swift. Like, I love any player. Well, fucking talking Aaron Rodgers. Any player who feels disrespected about where they get drafted. Any player who can do the thing where it's like they name every position player ahead of them and knows where they went to school and like has them on their fucking hit list, essentially. Like, what is it? Billy Madison, when the guy crosses the hit list out in lipstick, like he has that kind of list at home and it's scary. But dude, I was lower on Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, coming into this season than most people. And watching him work and listening to him, I think I'm there where everybody else is now. I like him a lot.
One of the biggest things that I like about him, too, is obviously, like with his dad, the weightlifting you expected. He looks incredible, by the way. He looks like a superhuman. But the other thing that I like is he's unapologetically, like, will spout out his record. Like, I like how he said, yeah, I set the rookie record for Lions, or the franchise record. And he just put it out there. Like, other guys are like, great first season, but I look to build. This dude's like, no, fuck you. I did this, and I'm going to do this. And then it's just, again, kind of perfect for that Dan Campbell system. Man, did the Packers whiff on the one Amon-Ra St. Brown, family member that did not work out.
I mean, EQ is the wide receiver 2 in Chicago now. So what do we know? Maybe he's good. I hope he's good. That will make me happy.
Him and MVS both going to go for 1,010 touchdowns, and
probably. Man, I don't know what else. If MVS is like a dude, if he is a go-to receiver for the Chiefs, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't. And if he's like quiet, like he did call it. I should have listened to him when he said he's the best receiver in the league. That's on me.
I'm telling you guys, there's a possibility that he leads the league in receiving yards this year.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah, that possibility is out there. He leads the league in receiving yards this year. Like, there's an avenue for that to happen.
Yeah, there is. I hope it's not true, but there is. Is there anything else from Hard Knocks you want to talk about?
My grievances are the same as last week's. No Eminem and not enough Jared Goff.
I thought we got too much Jared Goff.
No. I think we got the right amount of Jared Goff, actually.
Apparently, like the Hard Knocks people came on McAfee and we're talking about Jared Goff. They're gonna tell his story apparently, so you're gonna get more Jared Goff.
Can't wait.
About going from Super Bowl quarterback LA to the slums of Detroit. Essentially, is what they said they're gonna do.
Transition.
Which again, they're just gonna bury Detroit. Why are we doing this? I don't want that.
It seems so dumb too. Like, obviously there are more people that are watching this that aren't super avid NFL fans, but most of them are. So like his story has
Mhm.
been told and documented a good amount of times. It's like if they're like, "Hey, did you know that Aaron Rodgers was not vaccinated?" It's like, "Yeah, yes, we knew exactly that."
Yeah.
Seems odd to tell his story, and you know it's going to take up a whole episode.
Can't wait.
I think we got 3 episodes left. And like the thoughts I had in this show, I got a little scared because I'm like, we're already doing the David Blau thing. We're in episode 2. We couldn't come up with other stories already. Like the Jared Goff story's coming. Talk to Jamal Williams.
Yeah,
Just
get him on
talk.
camera, however you can do it.
Yes, he'll be interesting. You can tell the Panay Sewell story. Like he actually has an interesting story. Do that. There has to be somebody on the defense other than Rodrigo, like and Hutchinson, like someone there you can talk to. And then I want Jamison Williams. Give me a Jamison Williams update. Let me know he's alive and well.
I want to see a 40.
I want to see a 40. He was talking about he might be ready for day 1 of training camp, and there's been no sign of life. I don't know where he is.
To your point, the storylines are weird. Like Chark is probably the worst storyline in the receiving room, and he's still got a really good storyline. You got Funchess there if you're really running ideas. You got Akuda out of cornerback. I mean, what the hell happened to him? Like they're there, and we focus on kind of the wrong ones.
Devontae broke him. That's what happened.
True. Also, like, just get Dan Campbell in a room with Josh Reynolds and let him come up with more nicknames because now there's 4. He did Serpent of Death, which is a spinoff of 2 of his previous nicknames, which was Spider of Death and Freaking Serpent. He also calls him Praying Mantis. So we're up to 4. A few are hybrids of the others, but he loves Josh Reynolds. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but he loves that dude. And I hope there's more of it.
I would love to be a fly on the wall when coaches are coming up with players' nicknames.
Yeah, there's a big meeting. They did a pitch. Like, okay, we got Rodrigo. Okay, step 1 done. Now Reynolds. What do we got?
Him off the list.
Yeah. They got pictures of praying manti, other things like, no. He's not a dung beetle. No way. Like, we got to match these people up here. I don't know. Maybe we'll get that next week. Anything else you want to see, Trevor, for future episodes?
The one thing I'm worried about, and I guess I'll kind of leave this as an open-ended, semi-rhetorical question. By the time the Packer-Lions game comes on November 6th, we're all going to be rooting for the Lions in that game, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think I have to. Also, it's Detroit. If you don't, bad things may happen to you.
True. I just, I want a feel-good story. Like I want to see a miracle. I don't want to see a Jared Goff Hail Mary, but I want to see a play like that.
I want to see a miracle too in the Packers advancing to the Super Bowl.
That would take a miracle. You are correct.
Also, speaking of miracles and kind of moving back, talking about David Blau, why did we cover his wife and not that kid at Purdue that he was really close with? What's his name? The kid that passed away from that weird thing. That seems like a way better storyline. And we talked about his wife who finished like 17th. Again, better than us, but still.
Wow. I'm going to be honest. I think anything they could have done would have been a better storyline than his wife.
Well, again, it's like no shot at her. That's fine. But it doesn't have a place here. I don't know what we're doing. It's like, what's the most interesting thing about David Blau? His significant other. Okay, then next player. Let's chalk it to somebody else then.
In the business that I'm in, that's not a story.
Right, it's not a story.
Also, no offense, but like she's for Columbia. If you want people to rally behind her, she probably has to run for the USA for people to care.
True. That is very true. Especially when you show Captain America, Aiden Hutchinson, like immediately after. Who, he's a dude. He's
a guy.
Fuck. Get the fuck off me on the field. Like, that's the guy I want. I don't want the guy singing fucking Billie Jean. That's the second overall pick right there.
Shout
And
out
I
to his
like-
dad for being normal.
No shit. Well, his dad was pissed because Hutchinson had 2 bad plays in the highlights they were showing there. I like Dan Campbell just bringing Aiden Hutchinson over and just doing like a therapy session. It's like, how's it going, man? How you doing? Dan Campbell's always on the verge of tears whenever we see him. I absolutely love it. He's always just about to cry, and he's just super concerned about Aiden Hutchinson in that moment. And you can feel it. I was concerned about Aiden Hutchinson. I didn't know if he did anything wrong, and he did it.
It's a great father-son relationship.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I will put my stamp of approval on this episode, though, because anything that I can watch with Marcus Mariota in it, I enjoy.
That was the one good part about the family. Like Marcus Mariota? I'm like, yes, we all did the same thing. Correct. That's the correct response to that.
Also, the ending was perfect. With the joke and the deadpan like office look at the camera was fantastic. And then it was ruined by Cliff Kingsbury. But before then, it was great.
Well, the joke, but then like also Fraley, O-line coach's son, just being like the little fucking twerp at practice, talking shit to all the players. That's good. I like that a lot too.
It's great. Tim Boyle going at him at the end there is great.
Yeah. Tim Boyle, I think, actually got angry. He's about to fight him.
Like he was ready to throw punches.
Yeah,
and you know the kid knows he's a dick and enjoys it too. That's the best part.
I'm sure his dad said it. Like, come on, you gotta toughen these players up. So he's going up and talking shit to Penei Sewell. Like, okay, bud. Let's do an Oklahoma drill. Get him a helmet.
Like a Jalen Ramsey, and just watch Jalen Ramsey just beat the fuck out of the kid.
One player talking way too much shit for the kid.
Right.
Donald would choke him.
Can you imagine that?
He would. That was wild. We will be back next week. Again, if you're watching this after the fact, we go live immediately after Hard Knocks. So 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern. Essentially, every Tuesday night following Hard Knocks, there's 3 more episodes left, I believe. I don't think I'm incorrect with that statement.
Sounds right.
And we will be back live tomorrow evening as well. We have a fantasy football show. And we also have Lombardi Sweep, which weirdly is a Green Bay Packers show, even though we're talking about our Lions love right now. We will be talking about the Green Bay Packers, their preseason game, notes from training camp. Luke, are you going to training camp with the Saints there?
Yep, I'll be there tomorrow.
Cool. Kick Trevor Penning in the shins. See what happens.
Okay.
Pick a fight.
Just incite a riot.
Yeah. Someone will come to your defense, I'm sure.
All right. I'll keep my eye on Trevor Penning.
You should. That's like no matter what. Just make sure you have an eye on him.
Always know where Trevor Penning is at all times.
Yes. 100%. We will be live getting Trevor and Luke's thoughts from training camp. Trevor will get thoughts from Luke, I'm sure. I don't know. We'll figure it out. See you then. Goodbye.